there is a word I want to bring you from, kind of help you a little bit decode the book. I'm going to look at something specifically in the book, the Besorah. I know it's upside down, but I think you can understand the Besorah according to COVID-19 in a context of Rosh Chodesh Adar. I want to talk to you about this as we are entering to the Chodesh and Chodesh Tov to all of you. Now, as I explained to you, it says in several places. One of the places is Brachot, and several others. He said, "Mishenichnas Adar, marbin anu besimcha, or marbin besimcha. Mishenichnas Av, mamitin anu besimcha." Meaning, when Adar come in, we are commanded to be in joy. And in the book, specifically, in around page 28 and 29, I explain the concept. And the question is, why should we have joy today? It's actually a pretty dreary day, not the day you want to have joy. And I want to explain this to everybody today, why we are commanded to come to joy. If you kind of look at this, in the map, we have Shvat, and then after Shvat, we have Adar, and then after Adar, we have Nisan, and Nisan is the month of Geula. It's the month of redemption, of course. And Adar comes from the word Aleph and Dar. The Lord is a dweller. The Mighty One is a dweller, and it's a month that we are called to prepare in anticipation for the Geula that is nearing. And the way we are to prepare to the Geula is by fixing things up, is by cleaning up. And we read it in example in Isaiah, he said, clean up, clean up. Now there is a mode for cleaning up in preparation of the king that we have to take part of, and that is very important. The mode of clean up is not a mode of panic. It's not a mode of fear. It's not a mode of being scared. I know a lot of people scared today. They're scared. They understand we are in the travails of the Messiah. We are in Acharit Hayamim. But the mode that one have to go in the preparation is what the month of Adar is about. And it's a mode of preparation of complete joy and not fear. This is important. There is a passage I speak about in the book that is found in Avodah Zarah. And 3a, I want to explain this to you today, as we are entering the month of Adar. So think about it. Shvat is a month that you want to be planted. Adar is a month that you are praying for the soil, you are preparing the garden, you are preparing the soil, you are preparing the orchard. In agricultural terms, I will explain it. Nisan is the month where the first budding, the first shoot is taking place. You notice a pattern here? It's a month of a miracle, Nisan. And we all want to see and experience miracles. Each and every one of us want to experience miracle. But to get to the miracle stage, one have to go through some travails. Okay, if you put a seed into the ground, you have to go to travails. And this word travails is interesting. When Moses met with Jethro, he used this word tla'ah, hatla'ah. The word tla'ah is equivalent to this expression, and this is Mashiach, son of David. It's okay to go through travails. It's okay to go through pain. But the idea here of the plant that is put into the ground in Shvat, he is able to overcome the cold. He's able to overcome those things. He's able to be planted in a way that by the Nisan, when it comes to Nisan and Nes, it's a miracle. It's already a miracle, the word nest. It's a miracle. And the miracle is really not in the fact that it just came out. The miracle is what's happening in the plant itself. And this is the question, the million-dollar question, that we're entering Parashat Truma. It's not a coincidence that we're in Parashat Truma. Parashat Truma this week is prophetically representing the Adar. Why? Because this entire parasha is a parasha of preparation of the Mishkan. The word Mishkan is, of course, rooted in the word Shechina. Shochen, the dweller. You are preparing for the indwelling of God. And in these last days, we are preparing for the indwelling of God. And the way we need to prepare is important. The mode of preparation. We are prophetically right now, prophetically and physically, in the month of Adar. It's the time right before Geula. And listen to what it says in Avodah Zarah 3a. Those who have the book, I am reading from the Besorah according to COVID-19, page 28. It says, the Gentiles said before God, Master of the universe, give us the Torah afresh and we will perform its mitzvot. The Holy One, blessed be He, says to him in response, fools of the world, do you think you can request this? One who takes pains on Shabbat Eve will eat on Shabbat. But one who did not take the pains of the Shabbat Eve, from where will he eat on the Shabbat? The opportunity for performing mitzvot has already passed, and it is now too late to us to perform them. But even so, I have an easy mitzvah to fulfill, and its name is Sukkah. Go and perform it. This is a very important passage that we are to understand in the context. What God is doing in this passage is give us a principle of Geulah. He says that if one does not labor on Erev Shabbat, he doesn't eat on the Shabbat meal. What is the Shabbat represent? Shabbat represent the day of Geulah. It represent the day of redemption. It represent when Mashiach come to the world, where the Erev Shabbat prophetically represent Friday. The Erev Shabbat, Friday, represent Adar. It represents the time before the coming of the Mashiach. And what Chazal telling us here, that we need to labor in the last days, but the way we are to labor, it is in joy. If you think like, oh, I have an important guest, and you start to prepare for this important guest, but you don't do it with joy, your preparation means nothing. So many people today are getting ready, they are preparing to be raptured, they are preparing for judgment, they are preparing for all of those things. But let me tell you, the one thing you have to prepare for in Adar, what you have to prepare for in Adar is the meal and the feast with the king. This is the greatest joy. It should give you the greatest joy today. You're not preparing for a banquet, for a judgment, or to condemnation, or any of those. If you truly know Mashiach today, you are preparing in great expectation. And this is exactly what Chazal have to come here to tell us. So if we go from Adar, for preparation of the feast, to Nisan, what does that mean? Here is what it means. Imagine, I'm going to give you an analogy right now. And I hope this analogy will make sense. Have you ever made something? I'll tell you a story. The other day I was making barbecue. And I have one of those fancy barbecue. And I left it for a minute. I came back And the barbecue grill, the flame was about 15 feet in the air. 15 feet in the air. I had an important guest coming, and I had such a fire. What do you think happened to the meat? The meat turned to a charcoal. All the meat was ruined. Okay, the preparation was great, the expectation is great, but it was a disaster. Now imagine that the guests show up, and what he have in his hand? A brand new filet mignons. He said, hey, I stopped on the side of the road and I have bought a filet mignon. That is a miracle. And that is a nest. That is a Nissan. This is important to understand. As much as you prepare, as much as you're going to do a preparation, you're going to fall short in preparing for the coming of the Messiah. But he, may his name be blessed, he sees your heart. He sees the intention, and he will provide the Nissan. He will provide the nest if you do your part. So the question becomes, who is the one who is responsible to the meal? Is it the one who is going to bring the filet mignons, the guest, or is it the host representing you and I? And I know that you come, you should come visit sometimes. No, the rabbi is a great cook, but when the grill catch fire, the grill catch fire, Nick. What can I do? It caught fire. Who is responsible for the meal? Is it the visitor or is it the host? And the answer really, brothers and sisters, is both. Adar belongs to you and I. Nisan belonged to God. So there is an argument that we see all throughout Scripture, whether or not the temple will come from above, below, or will be established below and above. And the answer is, both are true. It's not mutually exclusive. Both can be taking place. It is us who start the process, and it is God who is going to complete it the supernatural way. I'll give you an example. When the Israelites prepared the Mishkan, now we are starting to read this Shabbat about the Mishkan. And look at what happened all the way to Parashat Pekudei, to the end of Exodus. They start to build the Mishkan, and then they were not very successful. And if you look carefully at the text, you see Moses have not lifted a finger to help them. They did it. Now they came to Moses. It took them about 3 months to establish the Mishkan. And then they come to Moses and said, Moses, look at this. This is a mess. It's not successful. They are not really successful in following the blueprint perfectly. But we see something very interesting in the text. We see that Moses look at their work and he blesses them. And the question is, why would God bless a meal that have lamb chops that were supposed to be made medium well in burgundy sauce, who turned to be extra charcoal burned to crisp? Why would he look at this barbecue that has become a disaster and he said, I bless it? Why would God bless something like that? And let me tell you why. Because God is looking at the intention of your heart, and this is what Adar is about. The month of Adar is a month that one needs to be reflecting inside and saying, how do I prepare? Do I prepare in full emunah? Am I preparing in full kavanah? Am I preparing to a real meal? Because it says even in Revelation that the Mashiach is knocking on the door. God forbid if we don't answer. Some of us don't want to answer. Wait, Yeshua. We are not ready. We are not ready for this meal. We are not ready quite. Let me get my house in order. People of God, what is the message of the Besorah according to COVID-19? It's too Paul, get your house in order and exercise achnasat orchim. You want to understand what Adar is about? Adar can recap in one word, achnasat orchim. And let me explain to you something. When a guest comes to our house that Noach is really excited about, let me tell you, Pastor Matt, he came a couple of weeks ago. And you know what Noach did? He was like this. Let me explain it to you. Let me show it to you. He was like that. He is looking outwardly, standing in the driveway, alerting me on every car that is passing by. Why? Because he is expecting the guest to come and he wants to bring him in. He wants to bring him in. He doesn't want him to even walk an inch. So Noach was just sitting on the driveway waiting for Uber to bring Pastor. Why? Because he's excited. Some of us today need to develop this excitement, and that is what this Adar is about. So I want to encourage you today. So many people are worried right now. Say, oh, the world is going to hell. There is a nightmare that's going to come. We are in Sarat Yaakov. But let me tell you, it doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have, the Geulah does not have to come like this. If we are ready, He is ready. It's very, very simple. But if what happened, God forbid, by Jewish law, if somebody come on into your house and you don't feed them in 18 minutes before Shabbat, you broken Jewish law. So in Avodah Zarah 3a, when it says this, when in Avodah Zarah 3a it says, hey, you need to labor quickly on Friday night. You have to labor here without ceasing on Friday night to prepare for the Shabbat. And so many of us today are afraid. Don't be afraid. Prepare, and even if you fail in your own life today, and you are sinning, and you're falling short, and you're doing it, have joy. Because God is going to see your heart. God is going to see the tikkunim that you're doing today. God is going to see the things that you're fixing in your life. And it's going to come to you as merit. I promise you, it's going to. And not only that, that is going to lead to the nest. That is going to lead to the miracle. That is going to lead to the power of God in your life. So today we have a choice to do. Do we want to get to the Geulah? The Geulah is like a banquet. And in Matthew chapter 25, Yeshua used this parable of 10 virgins, and he explained that out of the 10 virgins, 5 of them were foolish. Now, what are the virgins supposed to do? Number one, the virgins have to come out. So make yourself a note today. Your number one responsibility today is to be on the lookout for Hashem. That means that you are watching and expecting God to be moving in your life today. He is here. It says in Shir Ashirim, in the Song of Songs, I love it. He said, he is looking through the lattice. He is speaking to the lattice. He's speaking. Are you looking right now? Look behind me. It's hard to see, right? It's impossible to see because the snow is coming down so hard. But it's saying here that he's speaking through it. If you look carefully, in your life today, in the midst of the COVID, in the midst of the calamities, in the midst of the trials, in the midst of the tribulation, you are going to notice that God is there behind all of those things. Behind the COVID, He is there. And He's coming one step closer and one step closer. He's coming to you. He's coming to the bride. He's coming closer to meet us. The question today that I'm challenging you with, are you ready to meet Him? Is your house in order? Think about the COVID-19 as a catalyst. Something that is a catalyst to move you to labor faster on the Friday night. It is like you get a phone call and the guest is saying, I am 15 minutes away, I am 15 minutes away, I am coming up. So you start laboring faster. That is what the COVID-19 is. It's a catalyst to prepare you to labor. Because if he come back, and he come with the filet mignon, and he come and you see that your house is not ready, he will leave. He will leave, friends. And we want to fellowship with him. We want to tabernacle with him. So in this Torah portion this week, we read in Parashat Truma. And everybody need to understand this. Parashat Truma happened after the golden calf. Let me say it again. Parashat Truma takes place after the golden calf. But you said, no, Rabbi Shapira, it doesn't make sense because we read about the golden calf afterwards. No, that is not true, friends. Read what Rashi explained to us. Rashi is correct and explained to us that the Truma is taking place after the failure, after the epic failure is taking place. It is correct. Rashi is correct. Just because you read something in chapter 25 does not mean that by the time you get to chapter 30, it's happened after the fact. That is not the way one should understand and read the Bible, brothers and sisters. So here we are seeing what taking place after the golden calf. They're making a different articles to the Mishkan. And you know what? Let me tell you a secret about this. Each article in the Mishkan had to do with a different type of sin that the children of Israel had. Each one have to do with their prideful, one have to do with the mishpat, one have to do with the rebellion. We will look into this week in the parasha. It is absolutely incredible. At the end of the day, you ask the question, does God really need to come to the house? Does he need that? No, he can make his own house and invite us. But no, he wants to come to your house. He wants to come to your heart. He wants to come and dwelling with you in your comfort zone. You know why? Because he wants you to be clean. He wants to clean us up. So what God is doing in the world, that even a disaster like the golden calf, a disaster like the COVID-19 has a purpose behind it. And what is the purpose? To clean us. To make us an acceptable vessel. So today we're getting cleaned up. And it's not fun. It's not fun to get cleaned up. It's make us scared because we have to look inside ourselves. All of our shortcomings and all our faults and all of the things that we are off in. But the Torah teaches that when you do the cleanup, when you do the preparation, when you get the phone call that says, I am nearly here, and I hope everybody understands right now, Mashiach is nearly here. You don't throw everything, go under the pillow and to call him back and say, I'm not ready. You do the opposite. Exactly what the Talmud says. You prepare and you labor and you say, Kadima, come on in. The house is ready. And even if it's not ready, you know that you have given the best you have to prepare it. I promise you, he will bless you. You will be blessed. I hope that the shiur today about Adar, prophetically, before the Geula, hit the mark, hit you right in the heart. When Nisan come and we're not ready, that's it. But there's still time. And this COVID-19 is like the phone call. It is like the phone call right now. When he said, I'm coming soon. Are you getting ready? Let us get ready together, friends. I bless the Lord for all of you. Please, pick up the book, the Sorrow on COVID-19. Understand the message and get yourself ready. we are in Erev Shabbat, and He's nearly here. Shalom, everybody. God bless you. Laila Tov, Chodesh Tov, and may this will be a month of glorious preparations for the coming of Messiah. Laila Tov.